What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we're talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the clan of the Dragon. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. We are dragging ass right now, man. We are not feeling frisky at all, which makes sense, because if we were feeling frisky, we'd be in the house of the cat. We are in the house of the dragon. So, anyways, without any further of that, there's some exciting things going on for how sideways we've been moving for the past like 3 or 4 days now. On a weekly basis, you can see that we are 18 hours and 56 minutes away from closing this week. If we were to close this week red, if we were to close it more than just a little bit red, not a neutral candle red, but let's say at least like a percent or two to the downside, which right now we're down 10.22% with a day to go. We would close out of the overbought zone here. And any time in Bitcoin Cash's history that it's closed out of its overbought zone, from the top to where it went down, we had a minimum drop of 43%. So right now, from the top to where we go down, oops, that's a sideways range. We want to get the top price range. Come on now. There we go. Top to where we've gone down so far, that's a 33% drop. So do I think we can go lower? I definitely do. I definitely do. And we might even go lower than that. I would expect, actually, I've been calling for like a 50 to 60% move down is what I'm overall thinking. And we've, at a minimum seen 43%. At a maximum, it's been like 70-something%. So I think 50 to 60% somewhere in there is where we're going to go. On a weekly basis, I don't expect that our RSI is going to get oversold. I do think that we're going to hold this kind of like higher low trend that we're going, but we probably will go below the 50. If we were at this trajectory to go down, we would actually find support right on a previous area we found resistance on the RSI, and that would be totally fine. Let's see, looking at the daily, I definitely do think that the daily wants to get oversold, if not at least bounce off of this area as it's done previously. But it's been a while since we've been oversold, man. It's been actually quite a long stint. I think this might be the longest stint that Bitcoin Cash has ever had in its history without, okay, I take it back, over here. But what was Bitcoin Cash doing? It was in its bull market, and even in its bull market, had a 43% correction, 44% correction, 44% correction. I've measured those enough to know that by now. You can measure them yourself if you want to. Those are, screw it. I'll do it because I know I have a lot of new subscribers, just so you know I'm not making this up. But this one's 43 point something right here. 43.26. That one's 44. That one's 44. This is a 70% correction. And we just haven't seen that yet. In Bitcoin Cash, if there's one thing I know about Bitcoin Cash is that it's volatile. It likes to go up and it likes to go down, and then it likes to go up more. Then it likes to come down, and then it likes to, so it's anything but a straight line. Even throughout this whole time frame where it was moving in a straight line sideways from top to like an immediate low, you saw a 21% drop, but overall you saw a 47% drop. So it moved sideways, but there were still eligible plays to be made here. Anyways, getting back to the task at hand, I actually, somebody, Cashies, you asked a question. You were talking about how let's see, what was the comment actually? Senior scientists release another, shout out to senior scientists, by the way, shout out to the man, the myth, the legend himself, released another video suggesting that this is the second time there's been a 37-day squeeze. It's happened once in the past, apparently. I watched his video. I don't know if he was suggesting, I listened for that part that said 37 days or 38 days, that we'd be looking to have a pump, and I don't know if he referenced which area specifically that he was talking about with that. He might have just said that with the implied idea that it has happened before. And I have a feeling that the range, if it was implied, if it's the range that I'm thinking, would be this one over here. And if we look at it on a weekly basis, you can see why, right? You've got this pump here, consolidation down like this. Back over here, you got this pump here, and you got consolidation down. They very much do look similar from a price perspective. Yes, this one's a little bit bigger, but overall, I mean, they even topped off in a very similar area. They look pretty similar, right? You have like a big spike of volume here. You have a big spike of volume here. I would say there's more volume here than there was there, but whatever. Some key differences to mention is we are in our 5th week now down. We're here on our 5th week. We actually had a pump of 16%. Here on our 5th week, we're down 10%. Here, we were well below this purple line. It didn't actually even come into existence yet, but here we're rejecting it. over here on this one, we didn't even get overbought on the short-term RSI, right? Where over here, we've been overbought now for 6 weeks, the longest amount of time we've been overbought. So, and then ultimately we did go a little bit higher, but then we had a pullback that took us even from this high to where that low was. That took us down 52% overall, you know. So could we have a little pump up and then overall come down? Maybe. I don't think this is likely. I would think that if we went up from here that we're not going to see this right now. I would think that it would be shorter lived or not as miraculous of a downside move, and I would think that the upside move would be a little bit more miraculous than that too. But my overall opinion is that we're going to go lower. And I want to go back to this idea, right? Because you were talking about 37 days, and I actually went through and I saw a couple of them, man. 37 days here, right? That's where we're at right now. If we go back to 2019, where I think that's not where it was. No, back, right here. This is where it is. So from top to where we broke out of the range, that was 38 bars. Okay, so that might be the area he's looking for. But now get this. Now get this. Here's something interesting, right? So from top here to the bottom, that was 38 bars. That's kind of cool, right? Let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything else like this. Maybe here. Maybe. I don't know. There were a couple others that I saw. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not this one. Let's see. Top to where we like broke down. Nope, that's not it either. I don't know. Maybe those are the only two. Something like that. 35, 36, 37. I don't know. That doesn't really look right to me. Maybe it's this one over here. 25. Nope. I don't know. I thought I found more than that because I was trying to look into that for you to make sure that this was the range in case there were any other ranges. But you know, it could have been based off of either of these for sure. And we very well could. We could have a pump, you know, in the coming days. It's totally possible, but I personally don't think so. If we were to compare these things, right, we can look at them on an RSI basis as well and on a volume basis. Looking at it, we had a nice spike in volume, and volume just kind of like died off, right? And then volume started to, it doesn't really look like it, but volume started to build right here. It was at a lower point here, and then it started to build. And then as we broke out, we got even more volume, of course. On the RSI, we were overbought. We were actually pretty overbought. Rejected the overbought zone, and then came down, straight down to the oversold zone, tipped it, and then came off from there. And that was at the low point. We didn't actually break out until the 38th day, and the RSI by the 38th day was up above the 50. Okay? Here, back where we are now, I'm actually just going to click this. You know, similar kind of look. We were overbought, rejected the overbought zone, but we haven't touched the oversold zone yet. We haven't touched it yet. And you might think, oh, well, that's a good thing. Well, counter to that, by the time we saw our 37th day, we were getting ready to break out to the upside. We're kind of actually, and we found the low well before that. Now we found the low like literally 2 days ago. So I don't think it's comparable. The RSI for where it is now is a lot lower on the 37th day than it was back then. The other one was above the 50. Here we are below the 40. You know, so I do think that it's a bit of a different look. The volume itself is pretty lackluster, right? We haven't really seen volume coming back in. It does look like it's dying off. I guess it's kind of building, kind of, but not to the same degree that we saw before. If we look at it on the 4-hour, yeah, I don't know, man. I would say this is dying off, right? You're definitely getting lower highs in volume. So we probably will see a spike in volume, and that will show us a direction, either up or down. Maybe in the immediate term we do go up. It's totally possible. I did say that in my video yesterday that we could go up to around 240 to 250, and to not get excited, right? Because 240 to 250, let's actually put a line right there at 250 and 70 cents. Sure, why not? If we were to draw a descending kind of line here based on the highs, if we were to come up and hit 250 within the next week, well, that would just be another lower high in this series of lower highs that we've had. So Could we go up from here? It's possible. Every time that we've gone down, we move sideways, we have gone up. We've gone down, we move sideways, we have gone up. We've gone down, we've gone sideways. We could move up again and then continue to go down. If we were to go up again too from here on the RSI, that would take us around this 50 area. If we were to come up here, reject that area, that would be a very good signal for a pretty strong move to the downside. And I am waiting at least for us to see this oversold zone. Maybe we don't get into it, maybe we do, but I would think at a minimum we bounce off of it, if not more likely go into it, because it has been quite a while since we've been in the oversold zone. But we don't have to go into it. We really don't have to go into it. But at the moment, we are in this kind of like descending formation of the RSI. Looks like we're going lower. I do think that the worst has yet to come as far as this downtrend goes, but maybe in the immediate term we do see some kind of price movement up. We are at the end of the week. We do have 18 hours and 46 minutes left. I hope that answers your question, by the way, Cashies. And again, shout out to Senior Scientist, man. I know we have different views as far as where we think this is going to go, but I mean, hey, man, it's going to go up or it's going to go down, right? And it could go sideways. It could. It's, you know, it's really not the expected move to happen, but I mean, it could. It's been moving slowly down here, but it just feels so boring, right? Like on a weekly basis, it looks like, okay, it's been moving down pretty steadily, but no, not really. Anybody who's been watching this like we all have, right, for the past like month and a half, we know that it's been pretty boring. Been pretty boring indeed. But I think the exciting part is going to come soon. Please, 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 guys, do not get too excited if we come up and just form another lower high. Get excited if we break highs, right? Get excited if we break this high. That's what I would say. Get excited if we break 266 and 30 cents. If we can break that, sure. If we can get a day that closes above that, even more excited, right? Even if we get a day that closes above this one here at 253, that's reason enough to be excited too. But ultimately, I would think breaking this lower high structure would be the first step. Second step would be forming a higher low structure along with your higher high structure, which we just don't have that yet. Right now, we are in a downtrend, in a greater uptrend, but at the moment, like in a shorter term downtrend. The daily RSI does look weak. I would think that we do want to continue going lower. If we're looking at this overall fib that I've drawn countless times now, you guys are probably bored of it, but it's good to refresh the brain, right? From low to high, we are kind of in an area that wouldn't make sense to bottom. I would think we'd at least go to this 382, which is around $201, but we could go down to the 618. That's another thing I want to point up, comparing this range to the other one, right? Top to bottom, it's been 33% of a drop. We're over here, from top to bottom, it was 35% of a drop. Okay, I thought it was 39, which would have been a little bit more. This is actually pretty comparable. But that was off of rejecting this overbought zone. You didn't even get into it. Now you're actually in it and you're coming out of it. I would expect that you see a bigger drop than 35% than the previous one before, but who knows? Again, bouncing here to me wouldn't make too much sense. Going down to the 382 would make a little bit more sense, around 37% of a drop. From this low to this high, you did come to this 382, like just above it. This is the one time in Bitcoin Cash's history that it didn't go below the 382. It actually went just above it. And let's see. And back over here, you know, if we were to bottom at the current price, this would be the smallest, shallowest retracement that we've ever seen. And after being overbought for the longest amount of time that we've ever been, I would kind of expect a more dramatic pullback. After pumping up overall from low to high 263%, I would expect a more dramatic pullback. And then anytime we've broken out of the overbought zone, coming down out of it, we have had a minimum of a 43% drop. We're only at 33% drop. I would expect a more dramatic pullback. But that's just my opinion. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. Remember, this is all coming to you from the guy who was saying, I'm looking for a pullback down here. I've got my buy order set at like one. I think I had it at, maybe it was this day. No, I was saying that I was waiting for a pullback down here, and we just didn't get it, man. We took off. But different conditions now. We've gotten overbought. We had this bearish divergence forming, which hasn't played out yet, truthfully, because the divergence formed here. We actually haven't even seen the areas that it formed at. So it would be weird not to see that play out as well. But again, I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about risk management. I would much rather buy After taking this high out at 266, yes, that is substantially higher from where we are now, right? From this price to here, that's 17.5% higher. But I would much rather buy up there than I would down here, with the potential for us to have a more impending drop to come. Because again, as we get into this oversold zone, we're only going to see stronger moves to the downside. Stronger as in stronger than anything we've seen so far. So the biggest candle that we've had on a daily basis is 6.6%. I would think that we're going to see something that's bigger than a 10% drop, which from here, a 10% drop would at least bring us to $205. But, you know, and just in a day too. So I would think that we are going to go lower overall than that. I kind of do and would expect that we go below this purple line. That would take us around like 160 or lower. And I get all of that again from this fib scale right here, from the low to the high, the 618 to the 0.69. That's around 149 to 135, somewhere in that range. That's where I think the sweet spot's going to be, not just because of the fib, but that's also where we had this previous topping range where we found resistance before. It's very common when you break out of a range to retest previous areas of resistance for support, and that just, it fits very well with this fib range too. So that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. And at the moment, the on the shorter term time frames, which I didn't go over, I'm sure I lost some of you with that classic goodbye. We do have bullish divergence, so it really wouldn't surprise me if we saw. But the thing is, man, what's kind of concerning, which is, you know, I've been calling for a move up now for the past couple days, but we just haven't had it. We've got this bullish divergence. We've got like triple bullish divergence. And we are maintaining lower highs still, and we have a hidden bearish divergence with a higher high here. That's like the lowest highs out of this whole range, right? This high over here had the lowest high in the RSI, while this high over here has the lowest high in the price range, but the highest high in the RSI. So if we don't break out soon to the upside, we might actually see a very fatal move to the downside to start this next week off. It's totally possible. And that would make sense, because if this next week starts around here, or even, you know, with like a 1% to 2% red candle, we're going to be out of the overbought zone. And anytime we've gone from being overbought to out of overbought, we've seen a minimum of a 43% drop from top to bottom. Right now we're only at 33%. And I say minimum of a 43% drop. I don't mean that that's where it's going to go. I mean that's the minimum. The minimum expectation. The maximum is 73%. I don't think we're going to see that, but I would more expect a 50 to 60% drop, somewhere that takes us around that 618 and 69 area that I was talking about, around these previous areas of resistance. So same old, yada yada yada. The red dragon is taking flight and I think is in firm control right now. But the red dragon and the green dragon are having their little tug of war staring contest right now, and if that green dragon blinks, man, that red dragon will make some sneaky moves. That's for sure. Same thing if the red dragon blinks, man. If the red dragon, it's any man's game at this point. But I do think, I say it's any man's game. I do think it goes lower from here. That's, you know, just to be completely fair. So yeah, if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.